Donald Trump must have felt like the star of the show during his recent big win, but his son Barron stole some of the attention. There was a lot of talk on social media about how big and tall Barron looked during the election night. Barron was present at the first victory party for Donald Trump in New York in 2016, along with his father. During that time period, he was so close to his father's shoulder that he was almost touching it. Considering how tall Trump is, that was a significant accomplishment. Barron's transformation, however, has become even more apparent as of late, during the election of 2024. As of right now, Barron stands at an impressive height of 6 feet 9 inches, which makes him significantly taller than his father was when they were standing together at the West Palm Beach convention. As soon as pictures of them together hit social media, everyone could not help but notice how much Barron had grown. One person wrote on X, "Barron is height-mogging the whole country." Someone else wrote on Twitter, "Wow, seeing Barron Trump next to Melania and Donald really shows just how tall he is." Before he formally announced that he would be running for a second term, Donald Trump took a moment to honor his late mother-in-law, Amalija Knavs, who was Barron's grandmother. He said that she should get some credit for Barron's height.
Boy, did she take care of Barron. That's how he got so tall. He only ate her food.
Voted for the first time for his dad was written on the picture that Melania uploaded on Instagram, which showed Barron leaning down to cast his first ballot. The picture clearly demonstrated how tall Barron is. Due to the fact that Barron initially did not wish to be seen by the general public, Melania Trump made certain that he only attended official events, such as the Easter egg roll at the White House and the Inauguration Day observance. Both Donald and Melania made it quite apparent that they desired to bring up their youngest boy in a private setting. Melania stated that her primary objective was to assist Barron in comprehending what was going on around him, while also ensuring that he remained tranquil in an interview that she gave to ABC News in October of 2016. "I teach him and explain things to him so he knows what's going on," she stated in response. Her statement was, "I just want to give him the most normal childhood possible." She mentioned that he was having a good time at school, that he enjoyed playing sports, and that he was developing into a fantastic athlete. Throughout the entirety of Trump's presidency, this plan remained unchanged. According to an article that was published in the Washington Examiner before the end of 2018, Barron was rarely seen in public with his parents. Melania told Fox News at the time that Barron was still having a joyful and normal childhood, despite the fact that they had moved to Washington, District of Columbia. She stated that it was necessary to keep him out of the public glare in order to provide him with the childhood that she believed he deserved. In the year 2020, Melania took a firm stand in response to the unpleasant comments that were made about Barron by individuals on social media. Throughout their time in the White House, she maintained her dedication to ensuring that Barron remained out of the public eye by tweeting, "A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics." Despite the fact that his father was sworn in as president in January 2017, Barron Trump did not immediately relocate into the White House. Compared to what the majority of first children do, this was quite different. Barron was just 9 years old at the time, and he was in the middle of his 5th and final year in elementary school. Barron Trump was able to complete his academic year because Melania Trump made the decision to remain in New York City with him for an additional 6 months. She did this because she did not want to uproot him in the middle of the year. It has not been officially announced that this choice has been made, but Jason Miller, a spokeswoman for Donald Trump, stated that the family wanted to avoid making Barron's life more difficult. Melania, who was the person who was providing the most care for Barron at the time, continued to drive him to and from his private school in Manhattan during this period. Her actions were taken in order to guarantee that his transition would be as discreet and uncomplicated as possible. Melania and Barron finally moved into the White House in June of 2017, after all of this planning had been completed. Donald stated that his son knew why they were moving when he heard, "I'm going to help people." Barron was initially worried about leaving New York, but Donald said that his son understood why they were relocating. It was a one-of-a-kind manner to bring a first child into the public view as president, and the slow steps that they made were really methodical. At the same time, Barron made history by becoming the first young boy to reside in the White House in almost 60 years. He did this by moving into the White House. The final first boy was John F. Kennedy Jr., who moved in as an infant in 1961 during the time when John F. Kennedy was serving as president. The entry that Barron made to the White House was a memorable one. He strolled across the lawn wearing a shirt that stated, "The Expert." Although he did not receive his own wing, his move was a contemporary and intimate approach to welcome a young first child to life in the White House. He got off Marine One and walked across the grass dressed in the shirt. According to Inquisitor, there was a crew of over 100 workers who made sure that the Trump family always had their preferred snacks, toiletries, and other stuff. Barron brought the luxury that he had become accustomed to in New York City with him when he moved to Washington, D.C. The fact that Barron Trump attended some of the best schools in the country is evidence of how much his family has invested in his education. Instead of attending the more conventional Sidwell Friends School, Barron attended St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland, which is well known for having rigorous academic requirements. There are a number of wonderful amenities at the school, including a dance studio, theater, dark room, big sports fields, and a state-of-the-art fitness area. The annual cost of the school is approximately $40,000. The Center for Mind-Brain Education Science at St. Andrews University is the only school-based center of its kind in the United States. This center brings the most recent findings from research in the fields of neuroscience and psychology into the classroom. It was clear that Donald Trump placed a high priority on Barron's schooling because of this choice. The Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in New York was where Barron received his education prior to enrolling at St. Andrews. Following the relocation of his family to Florida in 2021, Barron began attending Oxbridge Academy, a prestigious private school located in Palm Beach. He is scheduled to complete his education at Oxbridge Academy in 2024. Even though he resided in New York, Barron led a very special life. The fact that he had his own floor in the family penthouse provided him with plenty of privacy and a setting that was conducive to his upbringing. It was reported in 2006 by the New York Post that Barron Trump had his own floor in the penthouse that his parents owned in New York City, which was valued at $100 million. There was a kitchen, a living room, a nursery, and even separate rooms for Melania and Barron's nanny in the triplex apartments that were located in Trump Tower. Even room was available for his golden stroller, which Ellen DeGeneres had given him as a gift along with a miniature chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Melania is quoted as saying at the time, "He is a very good baby. He's not a crybaby, he's calm, and it's great." During an episode of Parenting in 2012, Melania Trump discussed Barron's personal space. She stated that it was done to meet his interests in planes and helicopters, mixing the style of the residence with his particular preferences. She said that it was decorated to match them. "We let him be creative, let his imagination fly, and do whatever he wants," she stated in response. Barron had a playroom that was filled with his artwork and photographs, but he also loved to decorate with clean white furniture. Due to the fact that he had his own floor, he was able to arrange things in any manner he desired, including putting his own artwork on the walls. Following their stay in New York for a period of 5 months, Barron and Melania Trump relocated to the White House. Following the conclusion of President Trump's first term in office, the Trump family relocated to their freshly renovated house in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Melania Trump commented, "Looking forward to the memories we'll make in our new home." Tiffany Trump, Barron's half-sister, and Barron have a very close relationship. Marla Maples, who is also known as Tiffany's mother, is Donald Trump's second wife. Tiffany settled in West Palm Beach, close to Barron's Mar-a-Lago residence, after she tied the knot with Michael Boulos, a successful businessman, in 2022. There are 3 of his other siblings who reside in New York: Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. There is a good chance that the fact that Tiffany is younger than Barron has contributed to the fact that they have become close. Tiffany, who pursued her education at Georgetown University in Washington District of Columbia, made an attempt to spend time with Barron while the Trump family was residing in the White House. The specifics of how they communicate with one another are kept private, but it is evident that they have a special bond as siblings. Tiffany frequently shares Barron's significant life events with him, such as the following Instagram post she made for his 14th birthday in 2020. "Happy 14th birthday to the best little brother I could ever ask for. You mean so much to me, Barron. I wish you all the happiness in the world. Love you." During the time that Barron Trump was 10 years old and his father was president, the White House adhered to a long-standing tradition. They maintained the privacy of presidential children. They did this in order to keep Barron out of the public eye in the political arena. On the other hand, Barron did receive some notice from the media. On the basis of a video on YouTube titled, "Is Barron Trump Autistic?" Comedian Rosie O'Donnell expressed her belief that Barron might be autistic in a tweet in the year 2016. O'Donnell, who has a contentious past with Donald Trump, stated that her tweet was not intended to be a dig, whereas she was referring to her own daughter, Dakota, who has high-functioning autism. If so, what an amazing opportunity to bring attention to the autism epidemic, O'Donnell added. However, Melania Trump did not view things in that light. She contacted a lawyer and informed the person who had created the video that she would file a lawsuit against them if they did not remove it. The letter from the attorney, which was obtained by TMZ, stated that the video, contrary to what the maker of the video claimed, actually made things more difficult for Barron. Following the event, O'Donnell expressed her regret on Twitter, saying, "I am sorry for the pain I caused. That wasn't my intent." Additionally, the family has been watching out for Barron's health, which is still a well-guarded secret. In 2020, Donald Trump underwent a physical examination that revealed indicators of obesity. However, information regarding Barron's health has not been made public, which contributes to the family's cautious posture regarding his personal life choices. In addition, it was believed that Barron was one of the reasons why Donald and Melania Trump desired more stringent regulations on electronic cigarettes in 2019. As the number of illnesses and deaths associated with vaping continues to rise, President Trump made the announcement in September of that year that the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, would be making strong recommendations about flavored electronic cigarettes. Melania expressed her concerns on Twitter, writing, "I am deeply concerned about the growing epidemic of e-cigarette use in our children." She emphasized the importance of protecting children from nicotine addiction as well as the health dangers that are associated with vaping. In the press conference that followed the crackdown on electronic cigarettes, Donald Trump provided an explanation that was rather peculiar. He mentioned his son, although he did not use his name when he spoke about him. On the other hand, he stated, "She's got a son together that is a beautiful young man, and she feels very, very strongly about it." This sparked a lot of discussion on Twitter, with some individuals suggesting that Barron may have been discovered vaping. For example, Ethan Ralph, founder of Killstream, tweeted, "Barron got caught with a jewel and now we can't have mint pods anymore." While there has been no official confirmation or denial of Barron's involvement, Donald later talked about how he and Melania approached the issue together, which showed how united they were on the issue. 3 members of the Trump family, including President Trump, Melania Trump, and Barron, who is 14 years old, all tested positive for COVID-19 between March and October of 2020. When the World Health Organization, WHO, initially proclaimed a pandemic, President Trump frequently downplayed the severity of the virus, even referring to it as the Kung flu in his speeches. However, by October, the virus had already made its way to the homes of Trump, Melania, and Barron, all of whom gave positive tests. Melania Trump expressed her emotions in an article that was published on the White House website but has since been removed. In the post, she discussed how she felt after Barron's initial test came back negative, but her concerns continued. "I couldn't help but think, like, what about tomorrow or the next day?" she wrote in her journal. Barron's positive test results later verified her concerns, which she had been having. Melania expressed her gratitude by saying, "In one way, I was glad the 3 of us went through this at the same time so that we could take care of each other." Fortunately, he did not exhibit any symptoms related to the illness. While Donald required additional intense treatment at Walter Reed Medical Center, Melania and Barron were sequestered at the White House and relied on vitamins and a healthy diet to recover from their illness. Later, Trump lauded Barron's strength, adding, "I don't even think he knew he had it because they're young and their immune systems are strong." He also stated, "Barron is beautiful and he's free." Barron is a free man. It was during this time that it became clear how COVID-19 had a variety of effects on each member of the Trump family, and it also demonstrated how resilient Barron was in the face of opposition. His parents were taken aback by the fact that their son was named Barron Trump. Due to the fact that Donald already had 4 children from his previous marriages, he was not anticipating the arrival of another child so soon after he married Melania. It was 5 months after their extravagant wedding at Mar-a-Lago in 2005 when Melania discovered that she was expecting a child together. She disclosed to people that she had informed Donald of the news and that he required some time to understand it. "He came home one day last August and I told him he'd be a daddy, she explained to me. After the initial shock, however, he was overjoyed by the prospect. Donald made the admission that I expected we'd have kids eventually, so I wasn't totally surprised, just surprised by how quickly it happened. The month of March 2006 saw Barron's arrival into the family, and he rapidly demonstrated that he possessed a powerful personality and a keen mind. Prior to his first birthday, he was already walking and talking, and Melania had already stocked his playroom with books and toys that were instructive. Additionally, Donald chipped in, describing Barron as a very smart, very solid young guy. Despite the fact that he came as a surprise to the family, Barron quickly became a member who was cherished by all of them. It is fascinating to learn that Donald Trump did not perform tasks such as changing Barron's diapers, among other things. In an interview that took place in 2012, Melania Trump stated, "I didn't want him to change diapers or put Barron to bed. I love every minute of it, and we both know our roles." However, this does not imply that Donald Trump was not participating in the process. The times that he and Barron spent together were very memorable, particularly when they were having family meals and playing golf at Mar-a-Lago, their vacation home in Florida. During their time together, Melania mentioned that Donald and Barron enjoyed playing golf as one of their favorite ways to spend time together. While she was saying, "We enjoy family time," she went on to say that they enjoyed going to the golf course and eating together. Golf may sound like a business activity to some people, but for Donald and Barron, it was a much-loved sport that they went through together as father and son. As a father, Donald Trump was always eager to defend himself, saying, "I've always prided myself on being a good father." Melania Trump concurred with this statement, stating that the two of them had beautiful respect and admiration for one another. Donald and Barron shared a remarkable bond that was the only one of its kind in their family, despite the fact that they did not change his diaper. It was obvious that Donald was thrilled about the prospect of becoming a father, particularly when he appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show while holding a little Barron and kissing and adoring his dainty hands. During interviews, Melania lauded Donald for his unwavering commitment to his role as a father. She brought up the fact that the two of them used to spend their mornings together reading the newspaper and watching television. In response, Donald made a joke that went, "5 weeks old and we read the papers together," demonstrating that he placed a high importance on the bonding experience he shared with his kid, regardless of his age. Donald decided to go with the name Barron since he has always been fond of it, and Melania was in agreement with his choice. Although Donald first stated that he was prepared to change diapers, it was evident that he did not actually do so, at least not immediately after he made the statement. Barron was raised by Melania and Donald with the assistance of a nanny when he was born. Nonetheless, Melania was very involved in the process of raising him. For example, she stated in an interview with People in 2015, "I like to be hands-on," which meant that she was constantly present for Barron, despite the fact that Donald's career required him to spend a lot of time away from home. On the other hand, Donald revealed to the New York Post just a few days later that a young woman assisted in the care of Barron, which appeared to contradict Melania's assertion that she did not require assistance from outside professionals. The misconception that Melania never employed a nanny for Barron when he was a child was debunked in the book Melania and Me, written by Stephanie Winston Wolkoff. Wolkoff stated that there were always members of the family or staff available to assist with the situation. These individuals included a cook, Melania's assistant, and even Melania's mother. Barron used to spend a significant amount of time hanging out with Secret Service personnel even while he was residing in the White House. This demonstrated how secure and protected his life was, as his family and staff were always there to look after him. Barron Trump had to contend with a variety of challenges throughout his childhood, one of which was cyberbullying. He was the son of President Donald Trump, who was visible to the public. A highly harsh tweet was made by Katie Rich, a writer for Saturday Night Live, to Barron in 2017. In the tweet, Rich said that Barron could become the first homeschool shooter in the United States. Rich was terminated as a result of the remark. A bigger discourse about cyberbullying, particularly directed toward the children of prominent people, was sparked as a result of the case, despite the fact that hurtful things were said about him. In her capacity as President Bill Clinton's daughter, Chelsea Clinton, who spent her childhood in the White House, has expressed her support for Barron. Through a post on Facebook, she expressed her belief that all children, including Barron, should have the opportunity to grow up without being bullied. She stated, "Barron Trump deserves the chance every child does to be a kid." As a result of the backlash, Katie Rich eventually deleted her Twitter account. However, she returned a few days later to publicly apologize, stating that her tweet had been insensitive and inexcusable. This demonstrated that we need to be more compassionate and understanding with the children of politicians who are frequently unfairly put in the spotlight. Barron was absent from his father's goodbye address as he was leaving the White House in January 2021, which was another significant event that took place during that month. This individual was accompanied by his wife Melania, their older children, and their grandchildren. However, Barron was not present. The media speculated about the reasons why he was absent, but the reason itself was not disclosed to the general public. On the other hand, Barron decided to accompany his parents on Air Force One as they traveled to Florida in order to settle there following Trump's administration. However, despite the fact that the decision to not attend the farewell speech received a great deal of attention from the media, the Trumps continued to view it as a matter of family concern.